إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين إنه خير ناصر ومعين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى أهل بيته الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في محكم كتابه: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل يا عبادي الذين أسرفوا على أنفسهم لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله إن الله يغفر الذنوب جميعا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. آمنا بالله. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Once again, we thank Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for granting us another wonderful moment, wonderful opportunity after going through this great dua tawassul that we have given all our affairs and happenings to Ahl al-Bayt salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayh to be on our behalf in the presence of Almighty Allah Azza wa Jal. We ask Allah to accept the dua, inshallah. If you recall very well, last 2 weeks we discussed about the question of hopelessness or despairing from the mercy of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We got to a point where we were outlining from the glorious Quran how Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala doesn't want to see us becoming hopeless and despairing, irrespective of whatever problems or difficulties that we may find ourselves in. So to an extent, Almighty Allah said, whoever despair or you lose all the hope due to whatever problems that you encounter in your life, Allah says in Quran, the moment you lose hope and the moment you despair, it is regarded as one of the characteristics of the kuffar. Only kuffar despair from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We concluded that night by outlining some of the mechanisms that we have to put in place when we are afflicted or examined with the sickness of hopelessness. We said one of them is to remember the qudra and the power of Allah. That Allahu ala kulli shay'in qadir. If you really believe wholeheartedly that Allah has power over everything, you will not despair. If the belief is down deep from your heart, no matter what the situation that you find yourself, you know the only one who is in charge is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So why must I despair? Number two, we said you should remember tajarub shakhsi, your own personal experience. That if you can recall and you reflect, you refresh your memory back, you realize that there are many instances where Allah removed you out of something without your consent. So they said for you to be able to overcome hopelessness, you should flash back a little bit and say, look, there was a time when I found myself in a state of wanting. I didn't know what was going to happen. All of a sudden, Allah took me out of that musibah and out of difficulties. And we said, thirdly, you should remember there are many people out there, from the prophets of Allah until today, who have gone through serious situations and difficulties. But Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala removed them. And we gave 2 examples. With one example is Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. Ibrahim got to an age of 120, some scholars say 112, and he had no child at that age. Sometimes we are examined with that difficulties. You are married many years, there are no children. You tried every nook and cranny, you've been to hospitals, and you are told you do not have a problem, your wife do not have any problem. You have to despair. No! Remember Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. Ibrahim was 120, but still Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala out of his infinite mercy blessed Ibrahim with Ismail, and out of all of them we have a prophet of Almighty Allah You've been sick for many years. 10 years, 5 years, 15 years, 20 years. You've been going to hospitals, but things are not coming right. You've been depending on medication. At least you made a mistake without taking that medication, you may not be able to survive. Do I have to despair? No, don't despair from the mercy of Allah. We said yes, it is principle of cause and effect, but Allah who provided that principle can overcome the principle and destroy the principle. Now in Islam we have a lot of riwayat from Ahlul Bayt. If you are examined with sickness and you've tried everything and you are not getting cured, don't despair. Number one, put it at the back of your mind. That sickness is regarded as kafaratul lidhunub. It is kafara for some of the sins that you have committed against Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you see, you tried everything, you're not getting cured. Take it as a kafara that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want you to exit from it world to enter Qiyamah with any sins on your shoulder. So if you see those sins or those sickness, to wipe off all your sins before you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't you like it that way? You want to go to Qiyamah and suffer the lashes of Munkar wa Nakir? Number two, they said it is taharatun min al-dhunub. It purifies you from any sin. Sick, back pain, heart problem, headache, stomach problem, incurable diseases, may Allah forbid. Now you have them, why must you despair? Don't despair. Take it as Allah is purifying you and Allah is cleansing you. We have a riwayah from our fifth Imam, when you are sick, and that sickness takes a lot of time, many years without getting cured. Know that that sickness will elevate you to the highest state of spirituality in the eye of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another mechanism which is very, very important, that you are not getting cured. What do? You remember the servants of Allah, including prophets of Allah, who were examined with sickness for many years. Day in, day out, night in, night out, year in, year out. They're not getting cured. But all of a sudden, Allah out of His infinite mercy, He blessed them with cure. Example is Ayyub alayhi salatu wasalam. You know how many years Ayyub suffered? Riwayah said he suffered 18 years. One riwayah said he suffered 17 years. He lost his money, he became very, very sick, to such an extent, if you were close to Ayyub, you smell, you could not sit close to him. But Ayyub alayhi salatu wasalam was that you are higher than them. They cannot get closer to you when you compare the mercies of Allah on you and their troubles and difficulties. Now sometimes you examine with poverty, lack of money, lack of job. You lose your job. You lose money like no one's business without your faults. Do you have to despair? No. Know that in fakr there is a hikmah. In poverty, there's wisdom of Allah. Prophet ﷺ said, if you know the wisdom which is in poverty, you will not complain when you find yourself in that status. There's wisdom. And one mechanism also you find that you're losing money, you're becoming poor. What do? You look at the billions of people who in the morning are zero and in the afternoon they become billionaires. It's out of the mercy of Allah. There are people who are homeless, they have nothing. By the time you open your eye, they are aristocrats, they are big people. So when you look at all these things, you tend to say, MashaAllah, Allah is there. And I will not despair from His mercy because the key for the sustenance is in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another point also example is that sometimes you've committed a lot of sins in your life. Things that willingly you committed sin. And then you come to a point to say, no, now I need to stop. You made the door, but sometimes you think, hey, I don't think I'll be forgiven. Who told you? Never despair. Allah will forgive you. Prophet ﷺ, Allah taught him, قُلْ يَا عِبَادِيَ الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ verse 33. Oh Prophet, tell my servants, الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ, who wronged themselves, they committed sins. لَا تَقْنَطُوا مِنْ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ, do not despair from the mercy of Allah. Who told you will be forgiven by Allah? إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ جَمِيعًا, Allah forgives sins all. Here with about the tafsir, Allah is telling Prophet, Ya Ibadi. Allah is telling Prophet, tell them, oh my servant. Or else Allah was going to say, oh Prophet, tell them, oh sinners. But Allah is not saying, oh sinners, and tell them, oh my servant. Here with the man is saying, why Allah is the word, oh my servant? To tell those people who have committed the sin that still the mercy of Allah is there for you to be forgiven of your sin. And the same thing, you look at the verse 153, apart from saying, Ya Ibadi, he said, Asrafu. Allah didn't say, Akhta'u. In Arabic, Israf is different from Akhta or Khata. If you had said Khata, it means don't have any hope of mercy. That's why we said, Khati'atuna, sometimes we made the dua. Allah, we have committed that, so they said, we don't have any hope, that will forgive us. But Allah said, Asraf. Israf means there is the mercy of Allah. You have exceeded the limit. But since you have exceeded the limit, you will come back to the limit. Then Allah said, La taqnatu min rahmatillah. Do not despair. Yaghfiru dhunuba jami'a. He forgives all the sins. I give an example, during the lifetime of our beloved Prophet, sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, there was this man by the name of Abu Lubaba. Abu Lubaba was from the tribe of Banu Qurayb in Madinatul Munawwarah. And when Prophet arrived in Medina, he invited many, especially all and sundry, he may talk to Islam and monotheism. So that the Prophet would write a letter and will give it to one of his companions, take it to that tribe, call them to Islam. So this Abu Lubaba is from the tribe of Banu Qurayb. Prophet sent Abu Lubaba to Banu Qurayb. Take this letter and go invite them to Islam. Tell them I'm calling them to Islam. Abu Lubaba went. When he went, eager to bring a message, and they asked him, Abu Lubaba, we need to find out from you, what do you think about Muhammad? Is he good or is he not good? Abu Lubaba then, he did not say anything. He did like this. Sarcastically, like in a joke form. And the whole family were there and they trusted Abu Lubaba. This verse of Quran, they Abu Lubaba did like this. Which signifies that no, Muhammad kills people. So now Abu Lubaba, all of a sudden, after a moment, he regretted, he started crying. Oh, I've committed a grave sin. sent me to these people. Look at the way I behaved. I don't think I will be forgiven. You know what he did? He went to the holy mosque of Prophet in Medina. And he tied himself to a column in that holy mosque. For those of you who have got the opportunity to go to Hajj, you've seen that column. I will tell you the name of the column. Now he tied himself to the column. He told his family, just bring me food and leave me. They asked him, he said, no, I will not go out of this place until Allah forgive me. So he tied himself, cried every day and night making namaz. The information got to Rasulullah. Rasulullah said, Abu Lubaba, if he had come to us, we were going to ask forgiveness on his behalf. But since he has gone to his Lord will sympathize with him. Abu Lubaba stayed there for some days, making dua, until one day, the Prophet was in the house of Salama. Allah revealed the verse of chapter Tawbah 103 to 104. وَآخَرُونَ اعْتَرَفُوا بِذُنُوبِهِمْ خَلَطُوا عَمَلًا صَالِحًا وَآخَرُوا سَيِّئًا عَسَى اللَّهُ أَن يَتُوبَ عَلَيْهِمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Allah said there are those who make good deeds and they mix the good deeds with darkness. خَلَطُوا عَمَلًا صَالِحًا وَآخَرُوا سَيِّئًا. But they should not عَسَى اللَّهُ أَن يَتُوبَ عَلَيْهِمْ. Allah may forgive them, and Allah is oft forgiving and oft merciful. Prophet told Salma this verse was revealed in the right of Abu Lubaba. Jibreel has just came, and Abu Lubaba has been forgiven of his shortcoming. Now, Rasulullah came and conveyed a message. So when you go to the mosque of Prophet, there is a column called Ustuwanat Tawbah, the column of Tawbah in the mosque of Prophet in Medina. That is the incident. Permitted, but Allah forgive him. So now whatever the sin might be, Allah's name is Tawwab. Allah's name is Ghaffar. Tawwab is from the word Tawbat. It means every single second and moment he gives people tawbah. He accepts their repentance. And it's a Ghaffar. Ghaffar is Sigatul Mubalaga. It means every single moment Allah forgive. So no matter what your sins, don't despair. The mercy is there. It's not in my hand, it's in the hand of Allah, and He forgives. Unlike me, human being, I might say I want to squeeze you a little bit. Sometimes you see you wrong me or I wrong you, you find it difficult, you know how to forgive me, isn't it? Therefore, Malaika I not mention in Nahdul Balagha, one of the conditions for forgiveness is if you forgive me, Allah forgive you. Don't forgive me, Allah will not forgive you. So Allah is Ghafoor, Allah is Rahim. And last but not least, whatever you want in life, be it small or big, ask Allah. He will never deny you, I promise you. Just follow his teachings and follow his commands. Why should he deny you? You know, during the lifetime of Prophet Ibrahim, Prophet Ibrahim at one stage said, I want to take a journey. Go and meet people and see how people are worshiping God. So Prophet started making journey in that desert. As he was making his journey, he bumped on a person, very old man, and this person was sitting there, and this person was praising Allah in a very loud voice, praising, making dua, making ibadah. Why I said he was making salah, you know, different forms of salah. It means ibadah. Ibrahim got close to this person. When he got close to the person didn't know this was Ibrahim. Ibrahim sat close to him. When this person did not mind Ibrahim, dua, praising God, Ya Allah, this. When he was done, he asked Ibrahim, who are you? Then Ibrahim asked him, who are you? He said, no, I'm a servant of God. I'm just here to make dua and pray. Then Ibrahim told back, in this middle of the desert, in this middle of the place, what are you doing? Where do you live? He said, I live, my house is inside the sea. Sea is inside a place there, like those who have been Sarakarobi Island, you see they built a place inside the sea. So he said, my house is in the sea. Ibrahim said, then how do you go to your house? He said, no, I go to my house every day. Then Ibrahim said, can I join you to your house? He said, yes, you can join me, but you cannot get to my house. I know I can get to my house. Then Ibrahim asked him, how do you get to your house? He said, okay, come with me. I know I will go, you will not make it. Yallah. They got to the sea. They got to the bank of the sea, and this person said, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Then he started walking. Then Ibrahim also said, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Then Ibrahim started walking. They all walked until they reached the house. Now when they got to the house, Ibrahim asked him, He got astonished that Ibrahim also is a servant of Allah, is a slave of Allah. Then Ibrahim asked him, which day do you think is difficult for you in life, or you have faced difficulty in your life? He said, I've not faced much of difficulties in my life, but there's one day which I think it will be difficult and I'm scared of it. Ibrahim asked him, which day? He said, the day of judgment is going to be difficult. So I'm scared of it. That's why you see me praying. Ibrahim said, don't only pray, Allah will help you. Then Ibrahim looked at him and said to him, what do you want from God? This is my point, Mahal Shahid. What do you want from God? Then this servant of Allah who could say Bismillah and walk, he said to Ibrahim, I don't ask Allah anything now. I only ask forgiveness until the day of judgment. Ibrahim said, what? He said, no. There was one thing which I've been looking for 3 years. I prayed. I didn't get it. 3 years back, so I stopped. So Ibrahim asked him, so you being servant of Allah, are you despairing? He said, yeah, I know I'm not going to get it, so I left it. Then Ibrahim asked him, what was that day? Then this man told me, one day, I was in this place of worship, and then a young, beautiful or handsome boy was there. This handsome boy, when he came with sheep and goat, animals, camels together. So I approached this boy because I saw beauty on his face. Then I asked him, what is your name? Where are you coming from? Then he told me, I am Ismail, the son of Ibrahim. Then he said, Ya Allah, you are such a nice boy. Beautiful, I see Nuraniyat in your face. Where is your father? He said, my father is dead. Then that man said, from that day I started making dua. Ya Allah, make me meet Ibrahim. Let him meet Ibrahim, this prophet. So Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, Allah has answered your dua. I am Ibrahim, the prophet of Allah. So Allah, Ibrahim told Allah answered the dua. How did I come right until this desert and I met you? So whatever you want, Allah promised, don't despair. His time is better than your time. You may time it, I want it this way, but Allah, He knows you're in and out and He knows what you want. Therefore, He promised you in the Quran, Udu'uni astajib lakum. It's a promise. It's not your promise, it's not my promise. It is His promise. So any situation you find yourself, wallahi, don't despair. If the key is in my hand, yes, you can despair. Because I am a human being. And the key is in the hand of Jalla Jalaluhu, who made the law to survive in the womb of a sheep, of a fish. He can make you to survive. Who made Musa alayhi salatu wassalam to overcome those people in the middle of the sea. Why can't you make you survive? Who made Rasulullah overcome Quraysh with their difficulties of that time? Definitely, He will not let you down. Put your hope in Him and always put your hope in Him. Once you have that hope, Allah Ta'ala will never let you down. Sallallahu alayka ya Aba Abdillah. Sallallahu alayka ya ibn Rasulillah. Sallallahu alayka ya ibn Amir al-Mu'minin. Ya ibn Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam had a dream to slaughter his son Ismail. The son that had been making dua for many years, and Allah gave it to him. All of a sudden Allah said, go and slaughter his son. There is a similarity here when Ibrahim came to slaughter Ismail to Abu Abdullah al-Husayn to Ali Asghar on the 10th day of Muharram. They said Ibrahim came to Ismail. When he approached Ismail, Ismail requested 3 things from the father Ibrahim. The first thing Ismail said to the father, oh my father, I want you to tie my hand and my that the God of your son was your hand, Abu Abdullah. We said, Abu Abdullah, Ismail told the father, oh Baba, do not take the cloth back because it kills my mother to know that I'm dead. We said, Abu Abdullah, when the blood was your hand and you were going Safa and Marwa, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. How did you approach Bibi Rubaba and Sayyida Zainab? Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منكر ينكرون والعاقبة للمتقين بذنب حسن اسمك. اللهم إنا نرغب إليك في دولة كريمة تعز بها الإسلام وأهله وتذل بها النفاق وأهله وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى طاعتك والكعبة إلى سبيلك وترزقنا بها كرامة الدنيا والآخرة. The Marhumi, inshallah, of this community of Bakrud, may Allah grant them Jannat al-Firdaus. All the Marhumi, especially those who contributed to the establishment of this community of Bakrud, because this is the first community. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them the shafa of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad, inshallah. All those ancestors and the grandfathers and mothers who worked tirelessly to build this place, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let them get the shafa of Abu Abdullah on the day of Qiyamah, inshallah. And also the organizers of this majlis, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward them immensely, inshallah. All of us sitting here, we have our hajat, we have our needs, one way or the other. We ask Allah wa ta'ala through the barakat of this majlis, fulfill our